All right, guys, another week on Unfiltered, and I got my boy Anthony here. What are you saying, bro?
Nice to meet you. Flopped already, but yeah, nice to meet him.
It's blessed. It's blessed.
Good studio vibes.
Nah, I'm loving it. Big thank you for coming through. I know you're a busy man, and again, brand's doing
representing the brand. Come on,
gotta be
Day,
done. Nah, mate, made my day, bro. When the order came through, I was gassed. Shout out the plug, Eric. Obviously, hooked me up, told me,
big Eric,
check this out, and I was like, okay, cool. And then obviously I told you before, I wanted to get a couple of pieces of old stuff, limited edition, fam.
Yeah, man, got the dopest thing in the game right now, man.
Mate.
Look at the quality, man. Look at the way it's sitting on you, bro.
Obviously. Mate, I saw one of the videos you put up in regards to how you compared this t-shirt to the Palm Angels one after like 10 washes or something.
Yeah. It's like, ugh. I don't even like doing stuff like that because it makes it feel like I'm trying to take someone else's building down.
No.
What they've done is amazing. Yeah. But my thing is just like, if you're buying on quality, just on quality, we surpass most people.
Yeah. Bro, it feels blessed.
Yeah, the weight of it, the embroidery, we like literally source out the best materials. Yeah. But when it comes to like other stuff with fashion, it's like you're looking at branding and how it makes me look in the club, and is a girl gonna come talk to me because not saying a girl won't talk to you. She might rub her chest and be like, yo, I like the way that feels to you. But it's just obviously when you're in the Palm Angels or Balenciaga, maybe not so Balenciaga anymore. Yeah. But there's a way where people buy stuff for different reasons. Yeah. But when it comes to quality, and exclusivity, I think we perform.
No, 100%. No, definitely. Like, I think soon as I tried them on straight away, and like normally I'm the kind of guy that will put my t-shirt straight in like a cupboard drawer, fold them up in that. These are straight hangers. Fam. These are hangers now, fam. We're keeping like looking fresh, like, you know what I mean. And it's a vibe. But I wanted to ask you because I'm interested about the name A2 A3. Talk to me a bit about that.
I know a lot of people ask me this question. I'm always like trying to give them the simplest idea of it. So my philosophy is, or the brand's philosophy, should I say, is that everyone has a special power.
Yeah.
And we're discovering those powers. Yeah. And we use nature collections, and we use collections dedicated to legends to express that same message. Yeah. But the ethos is by 2030, everyone has discovered those powers. Ooh. And it's crazy because everyone has a power, but not everyone's going to discover it. Yeah. So it's for the people who want to discover it, whether it be like going into a particular industry or becoming a better version of themselves. But yeah, by 2030, that's my vision of the world, and that would be an amazing world to live in.
That's mad. So
A2, so like, how does it actually relate to the actual name? Because people say, so a vision of a better world by 2030. So 2030, then they got the 2 A's. So.
Jeez, okay. Nothing to do with your name whatsoever.
No, I've not got my name, Anthony Ambition. People feel like, yo, isn't it put named after you? I'm like, no. There's a reason my face isn't actually on the brand.
I was gonna ask this because when I was trying to look, I was like, bro, I don't even know what he looks like. I was like, I don't know who's gonna turn up from. It could be
like the most out here thing I've done. Literally, this
is gang though. But so, give me a bit more backstory behind it. I asked him a few questions to find out a bit more about yourself. Yeah. Apparently, you've had this mindset, entrepreneurial mindset from day.
Oh, is it? Who said?
That's what you always.
All right, man.
Is he lying?
Making a black man blush. Nah. Yeah, I've always been like this. He's right. I just always was selling sweets in school. Yeah. Breaking out of school to you break out of school. I don't know if you did it, but breaking out of school when we couldn't get out of school to do like buy people lunch. Just always trying to find a way, selling jeans and hats at uni. Yeah. So anyway, long story short, I was in uni, third year of doing law, undergrad, and I was like, I'm not gonna be the top 10% of being a lawyer. Okay. You know, you just deep it like, yo, I'm doing law, but I'm just doing my assignments every last minute. Yeah. So what can I go into? And I've always kind of dressed what people would deem reasonably well. Yeah. And I like business. I was like, if I could combine the two, maybe it can work. So I was doing events at the time, and then my boy actually started a brand called Samir. My boy Samir. We went to sixth form together. Eric knows him as well. And he hit me up after uni. He was just like, yo, let's link up, talk about this business. So he had already like started doing some samples and stuff. And then he got me into like touching fabrics and interested in the idea of combining my events business, his fashion business. Okay. And out of nowhere, I went to Dubai. Not out of nowhere. We had a Dubai trip planned. Yeah. I bought some material. I remember it was like velvet. Yeah. Brought it back to my boy Samir. I was like, yo, make this. And then from there, we started making clothes together. So this is a previous brand I had before A2A3.
What was that called?
That was called BLNK. Okay, cool. If you notice, there's a pattern with the names. But yeah, that brand was literally a similar philosophy, but basically we didn't brand anything. Yeah. And we just wanted to like make the dopest stuff in the game. And we got ourselves into like the likes of Kid Ink, YG, the Krypton Conan, Sneak Bow. Krypton Conan, when they were doing like Don't Waste My Time, so I was backstage, so it was good. Like we were lit, like we were young, like 21, and we're backstage with all these artists and stuff, but we were just broke.
Okay.
And that's me being real, like we were just broke, like we were just making good pieces, spend all our money to reinvest and stuff. But young, 21, spending money.
That's the business way though, right? You got to reinvest in yourself.
You got to reinvest, man. But yeah, we learned a lot of lessons. And then, I came out of the game for like 2 years.
Yeah. What happened?
So the company basically eventually just, me and my business partner at the time wasn't getting along. We're cool now. But back then, we started the business and I went into like recruitment.
Okay, cool.
Went into recruitment, went into sales.
So we've got a bit of law.
Oh mate, we got all over the place.
Yeah,
anything to make it happen because I see like you're young and you're ambitious and you're searching for the answers.
Yeah.
But yeah, started as undergrad law, went into fashion for 2 years, stopped, went into recruitment and stuff. Trying to chase the corporate life.
Yeah.
And then from there I was just like deep in. I was like, this is probably the lowest I ever felt.
Oh, I swear.
And then from there I was like, cool, how can I get back into fashion? Because I felt really alive then.
Yeah.
And that's when I started looking into like sustainability and good fabrics. And because my business partner before, he handled all of the manufacturing stuff. Yeah. I only knew about the marketing. Yeah. So I had to learn all that stuff, how to make patterns, reaching out to factories and going outside of what I knew. Yeah. So it took me a couple of like months to a year to develop my patterns, understand more about the manufacturing side, even textiles. And then I jumped in again, back again.
And that's it.
Yeah, but
are you doing this full time?
No, so I was doing this full time, but what I've learned so far is that you just drain your baby basically. Yeah, yeah. So now I'm working digital marketing contracts. Yeah. To sustain myself. Yeah. Gives me sanity as well. Yeah. And I don't put so much strain on the business, and I can also reinvest.
100%.
The negative part of that is you're splitting your time between two projects, and I feel you could be making more momentum if you're full time.
I'm in a similar kind of boat because I do life coaching on the side, and that was something I did for like full time for like a year and a bit. COVID year, I was meant to go travel and stuff. That didn't work out because of COVID, and then came back, did a coaching course for my own personal development. Sick. And then like people I was doing the course with were like, you need to do this full time. You're fucking too good at this shit. I was like, all right, okay, calm, cool. And I ran with it, and I'm living at home, rent free, kind of calm. Mum and dad ain't gonna say anything towards it, so I'm like, blessed. Let me give this a go. Yeah, loved it. Sick. Loved it. But then like, what kind of similar story to yourself? It's like I really want to do this full time, but in terms of reinvesting in this, I'm gonna keep burning cash if I don't have something to like balance it out with. So I went back into accounting, got myself a finance role. And then got myself another finance role right now, doing that full time and coach on the weekends, in the evenings. And with that mindset, I've been able to like still branch out with the podcast. Yeah. So like now I can have this studio and use it freely. And it's like, I love having these conversations. That wouldn't happen if I didn't feel secure enough to have that balance with a full-time gig as well. Don't get me wrong, I'd love to be doing coaching full time, possibly getting into that kind of space, but a bit like Hannah, you said, it's your baby, right? You don't want to just like...
I've been there, man. I've been draining my baby. Like literally, I've been living on fit and I'm making money, making sales, but now I'm desperate for the sale. And that's like, and that's where you start to do discounts when you're not supposed to. Your decision process is different. Yeah. But also, I feel like, so I was meant to be a millionaire at 23. Yeah. I was Eric could tell you this. I was like, I'm going to be a millionaire. I'll tell anybody confidently. Yeah. And all my moves before then was just aggressively like, I need to get there. Yeah. So taking higher risks than I should do. But then now I realise if I was a millionaire at 23, my level of empathy with people might not be the same. And I might be one of them guys, you know them guys on Instagram that people take the piss out of, you got the same 24 hours as me, bro. Yeah. Like, there's less empathy. Yeah. But now I've had all these, like, it sounds like I've done recruitment, I've done sales, I've done a bit of law. Now I understand when I talk about powers, because my brand's all about powers. Now I really understand that, you can be in an industry that you don't want to be in, or you can be working 9 to 5 and not understand how you can build a business on the side. Yeah. And it's like my brand's all about displaying that like it's not always going to be perfect. You're not going to be a young millionaire. Yeah. Maybe not. Not all of us meant to be young millionaires. But there's still a level of like I could progress.
100%.
And that level of empathy. Now I get it. Like, okay, why people work 9 to 5s and
I think the good part of what you said right there is like the vision still may be there in regards to, all right, you weren't a millionaire by the age of 23, but that's not the be all and end all. What have you learned from that? How can you educate someone else moving forward? Your kids later down the line, like, Dad, I really need to, this is what you need to do, son. This is how you need to go about it, kind of thing. Like, these are my lessons I've learned, and this is the blessing for you. And you take it with that, like what you put into it. Like, no, I respect it. I think like I had envisions of what I wanted to do within accounting. Like I was in a relationship and I thought, you know what, man, I need to pattern this up because I want to make sure in the next couple of years, possibly maybe get married, have a nice house, nice car, live in that lavish lifestyle. And then that relationship went to an end. But I then realized there's a lack of fulfillment here. I'm not able to help the people I kind of really want to help. I can't motivate people if I'm constantly doing this. Yeah. So taking that time away and then figuring out how I can balance the both, kind of in a better position.
Very, very good position.
But discovering powers, that's kind of like what the brand says. Mm-hmm. Why does that resonate with you so much?
Good question. I tell people like most of so my brand came from a dark place.
Yeah.
So when I tell you I'm 23, I haven't hit my goal of being a millionaire.
Yeah.
I'm depressed at this stage. I'm not like clinically depressed, but I'm low. Like I remember I was seeing a girl and she was just like, it's not over. Because I've had a business which has been backstage, it's looked lavish and everyone thinks I'm going to go and then it's failed drastically. Me and my business partner aren't getting along. So I'm like feeling low in life and I'm working all these crappy retail roles and whatever. So I'm low. Anyway, long story short. And I'm looking at like Animal Discovery channel. And my grandma used to always tell me this when she was younger, like when I was younger, sorry. She used to tell me that you can see God's greatness in every animal. Yeah. Each animal has like a particular gift. Whether it be a shark in the way it can bite, a crocodile, the birds in the sky, how fast they can fly. Like it's a superpower and that's what helps them survive in nature. And I was like, how can this relate to human beings? And it's like human beings, you got some friends that they can come into a room and make everyone laugh. Yeah. That's just their gift. Yeah. They might not be comedians, but they can make everyone laugh. Yeah. Some people are skilled writers. Some people are just there on the phone to their friends. Like it's all different powers. Yeah. Some people can't do it. Some people can. So like for me, it's always just like when it comes to this power swing and it resonates with me so much is that I've spoken to friends who would be amazing actors or they make music. Yeah. And I'm like, bro, you can do it. And it just comes down to a level of belief. Yeah. And then you're sitting there. I've booked studio time for friends. I've driven friends to studio. I've tried my best. I'm like, you have that gift in you. Now let's bring it to life. Yeah. And obviously the world is built up with loads of obstacles. But there's only one reason to do it. It's just like, even if it's on a small scale. Whether, there's artists that like, they never make it to their Dell level. Yeah. But they can go to like a open mic in Camden. Yeah. Perform for 50 people. And those 50 people leave that place feeling like amazing. Yeah. For me, that's a power. And like
100%.
And you live fulfilled. Like
100%.
You feel so much more fulfilled impacting those 50 people than saying, I'm working this job, I hate it, I'm on my 35k a year, but it's driving me crazy. Yeah. Stress levels are going up. So I'm in a stage in the world right now where people need to, especially with the introduction of AI and anxiety levels and depression going up, people need to discover their powers. So it's like, it resonates with me because I've been there.
Talk to me about this low thing. I know you kind of said like long story short, but like a lot of people who come on this show have experienced an element where they've been low, and it looks like, I'm not sure whether or not you're fully up right now or whether or not you're still building up, but I feel like when people listen to this or when they listen to me speak on Instagram and stuff like that, it's a case of, fuck, that helped. I'm going through that shit right now. Just drop a message to say, can you explain a bit more about how you've done that? Or that's changed the game for me today. And I feel like you've sold that so well in terms of you were in a dark place and like, I don't know what that feeling felt like for you personally, but you're here right now and the hustle and the grind hasn't stopped. That's a power in itself. Yeah. But talk to me a bit more about that dark place like for you, because there are probably people right now who are trying to do something similar to you or start a business, and maybe they're going through a tough time right now with a business partner, etc. Yeah. It feels like the world's closing in on them, but you're still here right now. Yeah. Despite the fact you might feel like, I still got a long way to go. Bro, it's shining. legit.
Nah, I definitely still feel like I'm coming out of it. Not necessarily just low, but I mean like just, I'm nowhere near where I want to be. Yeah. But in regards to like people going through their stuff, I get it fully. The one thing I say, I don't know how to say this without sounding sexist, but for men anyway, men are born to have a purpose or a mission, if that makes sense. And equally a lot of women as well, I'll be real, but I don't know if it's gender bias, but I know that society conditions women in a different kind of way. But for men anyway, once we have something that we, for instance, this is your empire, if that makes sense. This gives you enough willpower to pop with a bull crap at work, no matter what you're going through. So what I always try and say to everyone is like, try and find something that you can become. I don't use the word passion because it's overused. but have a direction of where you want to go.
Yeah.
So for me, this is this powers thing. I'm like, yo, if I can get however many people around the world to believe in themselves to do something, and I could end up going into different facets. It could be books, it could be making plates, it could be making fashion. But regardless, the underlying message, my purpose in this world before I go into a grave, is to develop people, help people get their powers.
Yeah.
And that's what got me out of that rut I was in.
Yeah.
I knew, okay, cool. I know I'm really good at this. I could talk to my friends all day long about what they could be good at, and I'd drive them to studio, like I said. So that's my underlying message.
Yeah.
For everyone, it might not be as big as that. It might not be as intense as that. It might just be like, I'm really funny. Okay, cool. What could you potentially do? Make a list. I could be a comedian. I could script write. I could do a couple of things that just it's around the industry, right? How do I go about that? Now you write another list. I'd have to maybe network on LinkedIn, or I'd maybe go to some stand-up comedies on the weekend, or all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Now you got a list of what you're good at. You got a list of what I could potentially do. And now it's like going to the gym. I love the gym analogies because they're the best. And they're always like, yo, you're not going to get a six pack and be a bodybuilder overnight. You're going to go in there one day, it's going to hurt. First 2 weeks, it's going to hurt. Then you're going to start lifting a bit more. And then before you know it, you fall in love with it. You get all the dopamine rushes. Yeah. Before you know it, after 6 months, you look amazing. You start to look good. So it's the same thing with like this. 823, when I first started off, I couldn't even afford samples.
I swear.
But the reason why I started it, and I knew it, because I knew I'd done it like previously.
Yeah.
And I knew that like eventually I'll get to, even now it's nowhere near where I want it to be. But it's like I had the like willingness to go into the gym every day, and now it's like cool, people are seeing it. But yeah, I feel like people give up on themselves way too early.
100%. It's like throwing the towel.
They're throwing the towel, and it's just like, bro, you can't compare your stage 1 to someone else's stage 10.
Exactly. And that's what people do. We compare so much.
That's what we're programmed to do because of the things in our phones. Yeah. So it's like...
No, 100%. No, I love the way you've said that, because it's like, even when I try and look at it from like my perspective, it's like when I try and coach people, it's like you know the end goal. It's a case of, this is where you are right now, this is where you're going to be. I'm not going to tell you how to get there. You're going to tell me how to get there, because you know how to get there. It's a case of you have to do the work. You got to do the action. So with your gym analogy, it's a case of it is going to fucking hurt. But how badly do you really want it? Yeah. If you kind of want it, you're never going to get it. Yeah. But when you want it that bad, you will find a way of waking up early to make it meet your routine.
100%.
Or whether it's late at night and you got to fit that session in, or you're going to hire that PT because you need a bit more accountability, whatever it is. Yeah. And then slowly that changes because you realize the workout is fantastic. Now I've got to update the diet because I need to bulk, or I need to cut. Yeah. I need to start intermittent fasting, or whatever it is that you end up trying to do. And it's a learning progress, and some people are fortunate because they have that physique from the get-go. Genetics. I hate a lot of my mates because their genetics are on point. These man eat like shit, but
literally.
But again, everyone's dealt their hand, and you then have to be accepting of the fact that you're not in that position. I had a PT at my gym come through, and we were talking about it, and she was just like to me, you know, people at the gym, they're possibly on stuff. Yeah, true. That's one thing to consider. You're not doing that. Accept the fact that you're not going to be where they are. Don't compare yourself to them. Just focus on your journey. How can you get there? How can you take baby steps to get there? Because they may not have anything to do. They could be training twice a day.
Yeah, literally. You
got like 3 times a week, 4 times a week.
That's unemployment, but
that's it. But it's like, if they've got the time, they've got the hustle for it. Look, they're not doing a podcast. They're not coaching. Exactly. They're not working that 9 to 5 like you are.
Exactly.
So bear that all in mind.
I think to add to this, I think the best thing to remember is everything has a price in this world. Everything. And it just depends on what price you're willing to pay. Yeah. So if you think about like religious people, no matter what happens on a Sunday, they're making it to church. Yeah. They might miss their closest family relative's birthday party because they're going to church that morning. And that's the price they'll pay for what they believe they 100%. Can do. But going back to like business stuff, it's just like, you may have a dream of being a business owner, or you want to be a comedian. Everything has a price. Yeah. So when you start paying the price by going to the comedy thing on the weekends, or not hang out with friends so much, that price starts to become the pleasurable price to pay. Yeah, 100%. But if you're not willing to pay the price, then it's like, it's
like I told you, I've been here all day today.
Exactly.
And it's not like I could come and go back. If I can get my podcast done in one day, sick. It gives me all of tomorrow a bit more freer. Next week I don't have to worry about coming back. Yeah. And it's like,
you start to enjoy paying the price.
100%. And like, I've been here the whole day. This is going to be my 3rd conversation of the day. It's been sick. Like, I have learned so much from people that I already speak to, but having them one-on-one in the room, big difference. Like, I've never met you before, I've only spoken to you for an Instagram account, but what I see vibes. And now hearing you, Eric said that you're going to be gassed. Like you trust me, he said you're going to have a sick chat. And like already I'm saying in my head, it's fucking bang on, because like this shit wouldn't happen unless you put the grind in.
Unless you put in, exactly.
And I feel like that's a beautiful part of it, because you don't know until you know. You don't know until you try.
Bro,
and I feel like that's part of the journey.
Genuinely, the people I've met in my lifetime, this is probably the best thing that gives me a little bit of hope. No matter how low 823 is, or life in general is, the situations and rooms I've been in with certain people, I've always thought it has to be God, or it has to be, and I'm not even that religious, by the way, but it has to be God, or it has to be a higher being that's looking after this. Because it doesn't make sense. Like, for instance, I'll give you an example. When we had the last business, when I was 21, within the first month of us deciding to do the business, we were backstage with YG. I don't know, like, that doesn't happen on a normal day. I've shared a stage, I've been on stage with The Game, like random stuff like that. I've met Richard Branson, like random stuff like that. I'm just like, there has to be something in this. But because I'm in a game, I can get lucky. So I know they always talk about, they always say, what is luck? It's preparation meets this. I'm just like, yo, you got to be in a game. If you're in a game, if you do decide you want to do a podcast, or you want to do this, now some weird reason, stuff starts coming to you, like weird things.
You're manifesting it without knowing it.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not even a big believer in I'm a big believer in manifesting. You have to speak what you want as well. But it's just like, I know some people get a bit hoo-ha with manifesting. They don't want to go to, but it's genuinely just like, you don't know where the blessing's going to come from. Yeah. So just be in the game.
No, I feel you. And like what you said right there, being on stage with The Game, backstage with YG and stuff, like what you possibly didn't realise at the time was you wanted the brand that you're in to get to a stage where it was recognised by these kind of people. Yeah. If you're a believer in God or a higher being or whatever, your prayers are answered. This is your chance.
Yeah. I feel like
do with that what you will. It's an opportunity, whether it's a conversation or it's a collaboration or whatever. Like,
I heard something one time. It was like the guy was like, God or the higher being gives you a taste of what your future could look like by little doses to keep faith. So even when I like another thing I used to do was social media consultancy.
Okay, cool, sick.
In that period where I was lost, and I remember saying to one of my clients at the time, I was like, "There's so much bullshit going on a day-to-day basis. Don't forget this one day where you've had a crazy magazine repost your stuff because she was on a mad high. And I was like, this mad high ain't gonna last. You're gonna go for, like, most entrepreneurs, 90% is just crap. And I remember this day. And I remember I always kept that, because whenever I gave advice to anyone else, I was like, yo, whenever you start something and you have a sick, like for instance, if you had a sick interview or you met someone crazy you never imagined, I remember that moment. That's one of the wins. Showing you what your future's going to look like. But you're going to do it with another, like, tomorrow could be a madness. Where whatever happens, and it's just...
No, it's you bang on. I said this to myself with my first ever podcast I did over Zoom. Like, sick. Okay, cool. Got a little buzz from it. And then I got that next studio, and the room was like a table right down the middle where we speak opposite each other. Couldn't really possibly get a camera in there. Looked a bit shitty. But the quality of the sound was immense. And then taking it one step further, the other room where I bought a camera, started using that. Now I'm in this room here with lightings, and it's progress.
This one's sick.
I don't know where it's gonna go. And like, I look at what you've done with your business in particular. I've written a couple of the names down there anyway, but like, I feel like you're branching out on the opportunities that arise, and that is a win. And you need to remind yourself of that, because it's when people give up, when things aren't working out, they forget how they managed to get themselves to a place they were once upon a time. So a bit like what you're saying.
Interesting.
You remind yourself of this, because when it comes crashing down, you know the formula to get back up there. What did you do at that point that you're not doing right now? How can you change it for you? Was it your effort levels? Was it the conversations you were having? Was it the fact that you're waking up early every morning, where right now you're laying in bed? You're sleeping late. You're too busy chatting to guys or girls or whatever it is that you're doing. You're fucking around. That's the reason why you're not in that magazine again. It's go back to what works. Don't change that formula. And if you have to change something that isn't working, make those changes. But you already know what can work. And don't be afraid to reach out for help as well, because you never know. I didn't even know whether or not you would be up to coming on this podcast.
That's one of the reasons why I said yes, because I was like, I like the approach. It's just like, it's something that I do. Just be like, reach out. And I was like, we're in that year where I was like, I want to be out more vocal anyway. But yeah, that was a good, I feel like that's the way you got to be. You just got to be like, yo.
But even if you said no, like, bro, I'm sorry, I'm a bit too busy, or I'm a bit shy, I don't like, sick. Look, I asked. Best thing that could happen from it, you say yes. If you say no.
Exactly that.
How can I still try and find a way of collaborating with you? Because I'm a big fan of the brand, and I don't care whether or not, like, anyone listens to this or not, it's more of a case of this has enlightened me so far. It is what it is.
Because I'm thinking about some stuff as well.
What are you thinking of?
There's something you said in terms of what when you're in a dark place, what made you? Because some people forget what made them successful. And there was a time where like I wasn't in that period when I wasn't in fashion. I'd forgotten about all the successes, all the little doses, and that's what probably made me lower. Because I was just like, this is it now. But yeah, so I was just deep in.
Nah, calm. Because like I look at it in terms of like me and Eric were studying for our exams, our accounting exams. I failed quite a few times, and I'd never failed an exam in my life.
Ooh.
And so like when that realization kicked in, it was like fuck, and I was down, and I'm thinking, everyone else is surpassing me right now. What the fuck? I've never been in this boat before. I'm usually that top guy or up there at least.
That's a weird feeling.
Calm, cool. And what that taught me was you possibly put in 70%. All right, that normally gets you over the mark. You do really well when you do that. You need to do 80, 90, you need to do 100. Even when you're doing 100 and it doesn't happen and you still fail, it's like, how the fuck do you pick yourself back up right now?
Yeah.
And it's a case of, I then taught myself, as long as you leave it all on the line, you can't be upset with whatever happens.
Exactly.
Like, end of the day, you tried your best. You walked out the exam thinking you gave it your all. You didn't stress. You kept yourself calm and composed. All right, you didn't know a few questions. Cool. You're not meant to know everything. You're not a genius.
Yeah.
But as long as you walk out knowing that there's no regrets, fine. And if you still fail, cool, you pick yourself back up again. Because it's a case of, all right, fine, there was 10 questions you didn't understand. Make sure you know those 10 questions for next time around. And it's part of the process. And it generally uplifted the shit out.
Do you think that perspective comes from a level of your genetics or maybe something that you had ingrained in you in comparison to other people?
Yeah, I've always kind of been having this golden child kind of vibe from early age at school. And then I realised what was fucked up was primary school was given this kind of golden child kind of vibe, and then slowly it started dipping. And not necessarily like for a bad thing. I was a good kid, nothing wrong with how I performed, but like the potential was here and I was always under potential. And then it came into secondary school and then even like went to college and I was like, I'm gonna do 4 A levels, fuck it. Even then, it was like predicted A stars, no A stars. Got to uni.
That's me.
And only when it came to uni did I say to myself, I'm going to get a first. And I think it was because I was away from home.
Yeah.
The energy levels were, I'm going to figure out how to clock this fucking exam.
Yeah.
No questions about it. Comfortably got it. And it was like, bless, now what? And then when the ACA came about and that started like unfolding, I was thinking, shit, man, I never had this feeling before. Like I've usually been okay. My job's on the line right now, and this is fucked. Yeah. But you find a way. You don't just throw in the towel.
See, I got exposed to some information, and it was like there's a mixture of your upbringing, genetics, and what's the last one? I've forgotten it now. It's 3 of them.
Yeah.
So DNA, your upbringing, and your environment.
Yeah.
And those 3 things kind of make who you are.
Yeah.
So when I like listen to people like you, like I think, compared to 90% of the world, you may actually be different. Because the way you see your failures is completely warped in comparison to the average person.
Yeah.
And they're going to eat it up. They failed at it. They're like, I tried my hardest. They only tried 60%.
Yeah.
They were out partying, but they still can't. So like, and the reason why I deep this kind of stuff is because I'm like you. I'm super motivated, highly competitive. I want to get the best. I'll go again every single time. I'm savage it. But when I'm giving my friends advice or people that I know, it always falls on deaf ears because they maybe haven't got the same genetics, same level of hunger. Doesn't mean it's not worthwhile me doing it.
Of course not.
But it's just like I'm considering how I practice with different ways of encouraging people, motivating them, or telling them how it should go.
Yeah.
And like, I'm just trying to understand whether there's a better way to do this.
The important part of that, because I always have that, my friends are like, mate, you try and enforce too much shit on us, like we don't need that kind of stuff. And I'm like, bro, I'm only teaching you something that I've obviously learned from, but I can understand that. And I think it's a case of keep doing what you're doing, and when your friends or your family kind of need that advice, they're going to remember it. And they're going to be like, he was blessed. And don't take it as an insult if someone doesn't want to hear what you have to say.
I don't care about if they take it an insult or not. I really couldn't. Like, I always tell people, I could be your worst enemy.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit as long as it gets you to where you need to get to.
Yeah.
I say to my brother all the time because he's in his career, he needs to be motivated. I'm like, we could be enemies.
Yeah.
I couldn't care less. I just want to get you to where you need to be.
Yeah.
So I'm not even caring about the emotions or whether they get upset. I'm more caring about how do we actually get those people who potentially don't see it like us when they see the failures. And something I ponder on all the time because I talk about powers all the time, people discovering it. And I'm like, is there a facet or a part of the population that just will never get it or will never be able to. And it sounds very pessimistic.
No. You're right. And I feel like some people do get it. They just probably don't show it like the way we do.
True.
Because like you said, everyone's upbringing is different. I think I've had a very, very fortunate lifestyle, you know, and coming from our background, Northwest London and stuff, the reason why I definitely stepped into this motivational coaching space was I was at school and I used to see guys who had amples of talent on the field. Literally made you look stupid playing football. Yeah, there's no way you're breaking into that
literally
team. Yeah, respect to all of them, but possibly never had the motivation at home, never had the love at home to say keep at it, never had the guidance. And so it's like what you're saying right there, maybe people just don't get it. I feel like sometimes they don't get a chance to get it, or they're holding on to it so much they then act recklessly and go about a pathway completely different. Yeah. And it's finding something that works for you. Like I hated reading. I hated reading. It took me like, I think a good 4 or 5 years to read the last Harry Potter book.
Oh, you read Harry Potter?
No, never did. Always watch the films, but the last one I was like, it's a big fat one, fuck it, let me give it a go.
Oh, okay.
Bro, it stayed under my bed for like years, and then I finally got through it. And then I got into books 2018, and I read every day.
2018, you're getting quite late still. So I hated books as well. Never read them through school. And I remember my last year in uni, I had a law exam, and they were telling us to buy like a particular book, and it was like half price on another book. And my first book I picked up was a philosophy one.
Oh, I swear.
And I just read that. I remember thinking, this is sick. Why have I never read? And then from there, I started picking up entrepreneur books and more philosophy stuff and psychology and stuff. Yeah. But yeah, hey, it's still not my go-to. I do appreciate reading. I think everyone should read. But
there's some good gems, and now we've got Audible, stuff like that. You got podcasts, people talk about it and shit. So it's mad. But like everyone's journey is gonna be completely different, and I feel like with a platform like this, it's showcasing that your background right now. I've had someone else who's a designer, clothing brand, completely different to you, but your stories are so different. And her story is going to inspire someone, and your story is going to inspire someone. And it's like someone may be like, fuck, I haven't got clothes, I've got a journaling company, I've got books I sell or whatever it is. How the fuck has he kept doing this? Because I'm fucking low right now. How do I pick myself back up? I feel like I want to fail. I feel like I need to give up. Try something new. But then what you've just demonstrated right now is that you stopped doing one thing, found something else, and you kept the needle moving with other things that you've done, events, sales, recruiting.
Yeah, a lot of dabbling.
You call it dabbling. I say you're just trying to find your own feet.
Yeah, definitely find your own feet. I feel like it's challenging to know exactly what you want to do all the time. But
you don't need to know what you want to do. Like today, you design T-shirts, shirts, fucking... Well, I want to get into the shirts after this because, I need a hookup at some point still, summertime and that. But like, you do that, you work your full-time gig.
Oh man, yeah. I'm making me sound like a master of all trades, jack of none.
Nah, but come next year, it could be a case of... you're full-time back into the brand, or you're still doing that, and your job has taken a new direction where whatever skills you've picked up on, you've found something completely different that's related to the clothing company.
I think like what you're saying is really important, and it'll go over people's heads if I don't explain it this way. When I discovered that I like discovering people's powers, so I could sit down with you now and be like, I could find out what you're really good at. I could tell you're extrovert. I could tell that you get on with people. It's certain attributes I can know you have that I can. If I've chilled with you longer, I'd be like, you'd be sick at this because I've exposed myself to a certain amount of industries. And I know, okay, you'd be good at this, So when I realized I like discovering people's powers, that is my, like I said, my basis. And what industries I go into is just a manifestation of what I'm already doing. Yeah. And you see it with a lot of entrepreneurs when they're like really successful, they do 10,000 things, 10 businesses, because I don't know what their end goal is, but they have figured out how to make everything work into that end goal. That makes sense. So my thing is obviously this powers thing, discovering powers. But if I also actually sit down and think about it, I'm not, for instance, why the conversation might be different if the last guest you had. I'm not a traditional fashion designer. I haven't even mentioned going to fashion school, have I? No. I mean, I did a fashion course after my last failure, and I want to start with this one. But I haven't gone into...
No, 100%, no.
I haven't gone into all that stuff. Even though I got a very good eye for fashion, materials and stuff, I've learned this all self-taught. So it's just like, even when I was doing the events, doing recruitment, doing sales, doing stuff on the streets, doing whatever I've done, social media, it's like... At the time, I didn't know it, but it's all working in towards this same end goal of discovering powers. And I feel like when people discover that stuff, what they want to do, like everything starts manifesting towards that end goal.
It's, mate, again, inspiring in itself. Like, I feel like you possibly don't even give yourself enough credit for the stuff you have up here and how you articulate it. Like, I'm even thinking it right now. You could possibly do what I do. Considering how you listen to people, advise, you could mentor, you could coach.
You know what's so funny? What you do is what I would do if I couldn't design. Not in a horrible way.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
It's like what I find what you do so remarkable. And when I talk about discovering powers, it's exactly the same thing, but from a speech level. Whereas I'm trying to show it through clothes.
Oh no, 100%.
So yeah, we're kind of in the same field, but it's just weird because I make clothes.
I wanna touch up on this before I don't get a chance to. No, honestly, because
this question loaded.
Yeah, I've had it loaded because it drew me in. It's possibly the wrong reason to draw me into it, but then I was just like a big fan of like, how the fuck has he done this? You've had a number of celebrities represent the brand, showcase the brand. AJ, Michael Ward, Tion Wayne, Lady Leisha, the link up feature, the guy was wearing the shirt.
Oh yeah.
Like,
that was sick.
How? That's mad. no, and that's not to say like, how the hell have you done it? Like, that lit.
Yeah, when you lay it up like that, it sounds crazy. It's still not crazy like some brands, but it's good. Like,
well, there's a guy at my gym who was wearing the brand, and I saw him on your page. I said, "Yo, Chris, what you got, bruh? Yo, how have you got that?"
Chris.
Yeah.
I don't know which Chris that is.
Casey.
Oh, Casey.
Yeah.
AJ's boy. Yeah. Sick. That's so sick. It goes back to that thing again, being in the game, because opportunities come. For instance, Sanford wore a piece the other day, and I respect Sanford. Me and Eric back in the day, we used to bang out Sanford. That came from a customer whose cousins were Sanford. Yeah. And he's just like, bro, I'm cousins with Sanford. Would you want to get a piece? I was like, you joking? Of course I'd want to get a piece on Sanford. And then when I met Sanford, I was like, bro, you're one of the greatest artists to come out ever. Like, you're a legend. And he's like, oh, he's so humble. And we were like, he's like, what, can I take more than one piece? I was like, yeah, but come on, take whatever you want. Like, just because I respect his art kind of thing. But have to be in the game. Yeah. So I feel like.
But how have you got those opportunities?
Okay, I give the most obvious one everyone always asks is AJ. AJ is a worldwide known sports star, and it's just like, how does a small brand with 2K plus followers get someone like AJ? And it goes down to like, so all these opportunities I had when you talk about the sharing the stage of the game, being backstage, all these artists and stuff, I've just got a mad, like, I'm extroverted like crazy. Like, I could talk to anybody, anywhere. So now I've built that muscle up for years. So when we've gone to like a boxing match and AJ's come through, I've seen him come through with all the crowd. Yeah. Everyone wants to get pictures of him. I'm thinking, I got clothing. And I believe it's the best clothing in the game. I need to find out a way to get to him. Yeah. So I'm like, doing what I need to do. Because I've had years of like, we've broken into clubs. Yeah. Not broken in, that sounds bad. We snuck into clubs. We snuck into environments where we're not supposed to be. Yeah. And I've had years of doing that for my previous brand. So it's just like exercising the muscle that I know. Yeah. So I'm like, yo, I need to get to AJ somehow. I need to convince him that I'm someone to speak to. Yeah. I need to convince him that we're going to do business together somehow. And that's what I've done. I've literally gone through the crowd, spoken to him. I'm like, yo, bro, he thinks I want a picture. I'm like, bro, I don't want a picture. Yeah. I got the dopest clothes in the game. He's like, bro, speak to my guy. I'm like, perfect. I love speaking to the right hand, because the right hand's going to be more accessible. Speak to the right hand, maintain that relationship, take care of him in terms of a piece as well. Send the pieces to AJ. He didn't have to do what he had to do. He didn't have to do what he did in terms of like reposting, tagging us, wearing the piece on multiple occasions. But I always believe when you do something that's like, we sell more than clothes. Yeah. Each design is inspired by a legend on their philosophy, how they grew to that height, or nature collection and what gift they have in animals. So when he sees like the Malcolm X, it resonates with him a lot more than just a random logo on a t-shirt. And so that's the only designs I do, and that means something more. So when he wore it on a big stage with, I think he wore it in Abu Dhabi or one of those kind of big places for a fight, I was surprised. I was out of my boys, and I just see everyone tagging me. And I was like, this is crazy. Like, AJ's wearing it, and
vibes.
And it's make it to the papers, and it's sick. But he was sitting on that piece for like a couple of months, and you never know it's gonna. But I'm in the game, so I'm like, it may come up any time. So, but yeah, I feel like go back to that thing. Be in a game. Yeah. Like whatever you're trying to do, you don't know where it could come from.
100%.
And the reason why it's so ridiculous is the boxing match where I met him at. He wasn't fighting. It was a YouTube boxing match that my boy convinced me to go to.
Yeah.
I was like, brother, I don't want to go to this. Like, I'm working right now. I'm doing business.
Was it a KSI fight?
It was like a Deji, one of those Deji fights. Yeah. And I was like, I don't want to go to this, bro. Like, this doesn't make sense. And then I thought, you know what? This is some downtime.
Might as well.
I missed out one of the most crucial parts of this whole story. I used to do DPD delivering.
Swear.
Yeah. So throughout lockdown, I was doing Amazon.
Yeah.
And then after that, I was doing DPD. Delivering parcels, bro. £1 a stop. That's probably my lowest. I thought this is like. So I just quit the job this time last year.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was doing it just to maintain cash flow, especially after lockdown. It's good to be outside when it's lockdown, but after lockdown, it just got long. But anyway, I was taking my mind off being at DPD, and I went to the boxing match. AJ ended up being there, and
that's it. But I love what you've done there, which people possibly won't do, and that's. I'm not here for a picture, bro. No. I want to talk to you about this. Yeah, talk to my guy. All right, cool, sweet.
Yeah.
Ready. Did you have t-shirts with you?
No, he asked me for a business card, and I was like, I have not got a business card. I was like, bro, I'm trying to be sustainable out here. He started laughing because he just talked to my guy.
Yeah.
But I didn't know I'm going to see anyone that night. Well, I should have known you're going to see somebody if you go to
but still, like, even but the thought process wasn't, oh, fuck, can I not? I'm sometimes in that position where I'm like, straight in.
Yeah, man.
I do. Look, I don't care. Like, do you listen to Stephen Bartlett?
I do. I like him a lot.
So one of my friend's sisters, she's a podcaster right now, and he actually talked about her in one of his episodes with Davina McCall. She must have flown out to see her auntie who was going to be on his podcast in America, and she was just there watching it live. And as they finished, she went up to him and was like, "Hi, Stephen, I'd love to interview you on for my podcast kind of thing." And he was like, all right, fuck yeah, let's go. And did it in his studio.
Sick.
And then he even mentioned her again on his podcast with Davina McCall like months later. And it's like, she's gone from having maybe like say 10,000 followers to like 100,000 followers right now.
Crazy.
And it's like, you make those opportunities count by just doing it. Fuck whatever happens. He could have said no, that may never happen. She said, fuck it, best case scenario, he says yeah, and I get to have my pod. That's nuts.
It's so mad to me, like how I always say, like, if I could see somebody who could potentially benefit my life or my business, but I also benefit them in terms of I'm giving them dope pieces, or whatever. I always say, like, you have to be in. So I used to say to my boys, when you meet a celebrity, you meet somebody who's big for doing something. Yeah. If you haven't got something that you're working on, it's like it's an uneven communication already. Yeah. You're a fan now. Yeah. And I never like being in that position. Yeah. So I've always been in a position where, like, I've got something to offer you. Yeah. Like, bro, I got this. And they already start seeing you on their level because they're like, okay, cool, you could benefit my life in some way. And they're so used to everyone taking from them. Yeah. So it's like, similar situation with her. She was working on something already. So Bartlett would be like, yo, you know what? I'll put you on. Yeah. Because you're trying in comparison to 90% of people that I speak to that aren't ever going to
100%
register their company or start.
Because AJ trains at the gym that I go to every now and then. I think the guy who owns the gym is part of his entourage as well. Okay. And I've seen him there a few times, had a conversation with him. Hella chilled, so nice.
Yeah, he is.
And then there was one time he came in and I walked past and he was like, kind of thing, and I was like, fam, you recognise my face? Yeah. Like, cool, see, love. And like, for me personally, I envision one day being able to interview him, obviously when he's less busy and he doesn't like being in the gym and stuff. But like, the thought process is, hey mate, like, I remember you mentioned one time on a podcast with Gary Neville about your lows and this, that and the other, and this is kind of the thing I do. I'd love to be able to like take some time out of you if I can and just speak to you whether or not it's a possibility or not, see what happens. Chunks went to my school.
That's crazy.
Me and my friends on Facebook. he's in my sister's year and his brother was in my year. Yeah. Lovely kid growing up. Big man out here doing all kinds of things right now. And it's like, in my head, I'm thinking, that wouldn't be hard to have a conversation. Just reach out. He says no, he's too busy. Yeah. It's a price on it. All right, cool, whatever.
But you're in the game, man.
You got to make it count and see what happens.
Got to be on the field, man. If you're in the game, like, there's no telling where things can go.
100%.
And that's the thing about, like, when you start projects, people think, I think because of the way the society is structured, we think too much in a linear approach. Yeah. So people are like, oh, how am I supposed to get here? How am I supposed to do this? It's unrealistic. I always tell people, if you're around me, don't use that word. Yeah. Nobody around me can use that word around me. Yeah. So like, I don't like the word realistic. I don't like those things because it's just like, You don't know what's realistic. Me having stuff on AJ is unrealistic.
Yeah.
Me ever being in the same room with Richard Branson is unrealistic, a billionaire. Like all these kind of things happen to me. But how is the people on a daily basis if they're in the field?
Yeah.
If you're like on the field, if you're trying to do something, like it's all exponential growth.
Yeah.
Like it's random. So like your next guest could be somebody who gets you the 100k subscribers, which is crazy. Like you never know where it's going to come from. That's my level of belief.
No, it's like, do you listen to Shits and Gigs?
Nah, I don't. Who's that?
It's
are those the two guys that laugh quite a lot? Okay, I seen them on
so
TL.
Fucking hilarious. But they must have done a little clip within the pod of talking about like Chris Brown's concert, and like every day I let my girl go up on stage with Chris Brown, and they were going, bro, Chris Brown storied the whole TikTok.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, and they're like, yeah, we made it. Don't talk to me anymore. Like,
literally,
like, it's gang.
That's what I'm trying to say.
And you just put in the work and see what happens. And I look back from like early videos when they were podcasting.
Yeah,
try to get an idea of like what videos would look like and stuff. And to where they are right now, it's slow, steady, slow.
We're from the UK. How old are you, by the way?
29.
So I just turned 30 in January. We actually will look back at this period in life and be like, bro, we were actually around that golden period. If you look at I always take a lot of influence from the music scene.
Yeah.
Because it's podcast is the same, fashion's the same. They're still behind in comparison to the American counterparts. But we look at the music scene 5-10 years ago, no money, no bread at all. But now you see the Stormzy's, the J Hustlers, and everyone's got chains, everyone's got money. Like the game is so completely changed, and that's like when it was originated by let's say the Kanos and the Wileys and stuff. They're just doing it out of passion. They're just doing it for. But we're able to see where the scene's gone now. And same with podcasting, same with like fashion, same with all these other influences. People are paying attention to the UK. It's like you don't know where things are going to be, and it's like if you're doing something, be doing it well.
Keep doing it. See what happens. I've got obviously a passion to like be able to have a big podcast, and the idea is never to step away from interviewing guests who are random, have nothing going for them in terms of an influence on Instagram. They just have a story they want to share. Like, here's the space. Come sit down and talk. I'm not saying later down the years whether or not that philosophy may change. For right now, this place is a chance for anyone to come up, tell me their story, but not just necessarily inspire me, but inspire the audience. Yeah. And it's again, part of the process. And when I look at like what the UK scene is, I'm a big fan of grime back in the day. Oh my God, Channel U back in the day.
Did you watch the Channel U documentary?
Nah, I haven't seen it. You're
gonna get nostalgia, bro. I watched that. That's why I was really gassed when I saw a piece. And a piece in it, because that's for me. That's my childhood. I was just like, yo, Channel U, sick. Mate. And then to like all the songs
from that to Westwood to Grime Daily, F64s, bro. All of that, mate. Vibes.
Bro, just to see the scene grow is beautiful. How can you not be inspired? Yeah. How can you not say, okay, cool, where could this be in 10 years? Like podcasting, like we've seen the acquisition of podcasts and stuff, and where everyone's moving takes more of attention span. So all the big companies are investing in it. Like podcasting in the next 10 years is going to be where the money's at. So you're in a good space, man.
Yeah, no, keep it going. I don't care in regards to like views and stuff like that. Like obviously it's what quantifies whether or not your podcast grows or not. But I think me kind of like a bit more with the whole discovering powers. It's allowing someone to discover what's really holding them back and letting that go. And I do that with the coaching and with being able to do it on like podcasts right now. It's strict vibes. Your brand, for those who don't know, like I would like to say it's affordable luxury.
Yeah.
It's not anything crazy like you'd see like in Selfridges and them and bump you, but it's luxurious to the extent, like I said, I'm hanging this shit up. Because it feels legit.
Yeah.
Like I would be careful washing this stuff. Like I'm not just dashing it in the machine casually.
A lot of man get it dry cleaned.
Nah, like talk to me about like, because we've got the tees, we've got the, you mentioned like Nature Co, Legend Co. Yeah. But I want to get into like say the shirts. And let me know if there's anything coming up because I might need some for something still.
Yeah, cool.
But like the velvet kind of vibe on it. If you haven't seen it, like I'm gonna tag some of my stories later. But nuts, bro. And it's a completely different thought process whatsoever from when I look at it.
Yeah.
But it's beautiful.
So the silk kind of stuff we talk about. That's
it. Yeah.
So the silk, how we actually started off. It basically goes back to me just always trying to be ahead of the game.
Yeah.
So when I first came into fashion, I was like, I'm getting back into it. I don't want to make tees and hoodies. That's what every man does. Everyone does that, and it's just like you just get categorized as a certain level of creator.
Yeah.
So I started off with silk 2 pieces, and I was like, I got an eye for patterns.
Yeah.
And I started making my own ones as well. collaborating with different illustrators and people who can make the actual fabrics. And then we started making them. And then I worked on the pattern over and over and over again. I had my pattern stolen once, which is a funny one.
Swear?
Yeah, by a machinist. I had to get the police involved. I never called the police in my life. It was hilarious. Now I look back, it's hilarious. At the time I was fuming. I spent about 400 quid on patterns and they'd gone missing. But anyway, by the way, does anyone know what patterns are? Patterns are like, so imagine the piece of fabric is there and then you have like a cardboard cutout that would go on the fabric that would tell you the shape of how the garment should be made. That's what a pattern is.
And so this guy just stole it?
It was a girl, a woman. She just, I sent the stuff up to her in Bradford. She decided to keep them. I was going to drive up there and I realised, what am I going to do? Punch up a woman? I can't do that.
Call the police involved.
Put the police involved. But yeah, so many like random L's in this journey. It's just hilarious. But that's a funny one. The main thing is just trying to be different in terms of, I knew if I started off with silk shirts, it would already put the brand in an affordable, premium, luxury perception. Yeah. And then when we made t-shirts, people would be like, okay, let's try it out because it's a lower barrier to entry in terms of the price points. And then we still have the same ethos of highest quality. Yeah. So all the silk shirts are handmade in London, French seams, just attention to detail. Yeah. And that's why it's more like made to order. Oh yeah. And then when we apply the same kind of psychology to the t-shirts, rather than buying just a Fruit and Loom or all these crappy suppliers and crap prints, it's all literally like highest quality. Yeah. I try and get the best quality in terms of t-shirts made.
It's a representation of the brand. You don't want to just putting out stuff out there for the sake of it.
Yeah, I wouldn't wear it if I can't wear it myself. I won't sell it. And there's been many times I've actually lost out on suppliers because they're like, you're too anal. Yeah. And I'm like, they're like, you haven't even studied fashion, so how are you so anal? Yeah. You can spot when an embroidery stitch isn't in the right place. I'm just like, that's just.
Do you know what I like what you said there? You've flipped the whole script in regards to people would go in to try and be like everyone else. Yeah. You said, fuck that. I'm going to be different. Once I've got that attention, once I've got that market gravitating in, come talk to me about how much I want to charge you for a plain t-shirt if I want to do that. Yeah. This is what I'm about. This is what the company's about. Don't talk to me like that. That's fucked up because like not many people think like that. Everyone wants to try and jump into what someone else is doing. Like I'll see it on my Instagram. You've got everyone trying to do something similar to what like Represent do. Yeah. With the thing here, the back. Yeah. Gymshark's probably in their own different category, but you've got like Vanquish Fitness who's possibly on par. Yeah. But they're streets behind what Gymshark do, consistently putting out different kinds of stuff for the gym line. But like what I see on my Instagram, all of these smaller companies, like, don't get me wrong, they all look quite sick. Yeah. Arguably similar. Yeah. You look at what you've done. Yeah, man. You what?
It goes back to what you said earlier. Like you've had like a what's it called? You didn't call it a privileged background, but you said like a good upbringing of some sort. For me, I wouldn't say good upbringing, but I've had the benefit of always wearing questionable stuff. Yeah. I'm wearing leather pants at the moment. Yeah,
no gang.
And I'll bring up like I've worn like lace. I've worn so many things that are questionable over the years. But then it comes into trend. So even when I was doing the velvet store for my last brand, the velvet stuff, it wasn't in fashion then. Yeah. And then it came into fashion. I was just like, I've been right many times before. Yeah. Same with silk. I've always been right. I've been ahead. So I'm like, so I've had that level of, I can put this out into the world and they're gonna mess with it after. And I've got that level of like, I can relate to that. Yeah. But some people never had that. So it's for them. It's
back yourself enough as well.
I could back myself. So when I remember there's an era where like every brand wanted to be named after trap something. Yeah. Because obviously trap style was a recipe to be successful. For me, I was like, I couldn't forget anything worse than trying to be another brand. So my brand's completely different from what I know anyway. I've never seen a brand that does legend collections and niche collections. It's random as well. It's like, bro, how are you going to mix a snake collection with a Malcolm X? It doesn't make sense. And then until you understand the philosophy, that's all about powers.
Mate, honestly, I'd see it and I'm like, wolf, snake, okay, fine. And there was Rhino at one point.
Yeah, Rhino was back first one.
And then now you got Nipsey, Malcolm X, Muhammad Ali. Yeah. Bro,
research, I love it.
No, of course, mate. Bro, you don't understand. I was so vexed when the wolf stuff came out. Yeah. The jackets and the hoodies, because Eric's already told me he'd got them already, and I was like, nah, dickhead. I was like, look, sort me out. And he said, yo, bro, I'll get you discount as well. It's calm. And the discount didn't work, and I was like, all right, calm. He said, I'm gonna chase him up. Before you know it, sold out. And I was thinking, for fuck's sakes, bro, that was gonna be a hefty Christmas order already.
Oh, that'd be sick. And it's some of that stuff's gonna come back though. Yeah, some of that stuff's gonna come back.
DM me straight away
because I get people all the time messaging me like, "Yo, when is this coming back?" And they always want Wolfpack to come back.
I just like the way it looked. it's something I could wear out. It's something I could wear cash. Something I could just wear at home. Like I really fuck with the brand. Like genuinely, I think it's something I've seen, and I'm like, I'd keep on investing in that. Just not. I'd even wear it to the gym if I wanted to. Like it just feels and looks good, and I feel like you've definitely won something over there. And by all means, like keep doing what you're doing. Legit,
I appreciate it, bro.
It's a vibe.
I got some. I feel like we're just getting out of gear 1.
Yeah.
Just heading to gear 2.
Yeah.
Once you start fixing some like little pockets in the business, and I learned how to articulate the message more. Because like you said, like if you taking the time to actually understand the message, some people just be like, "Why is there a wolf?" and then there's a Malcolm X.
Yeah.
And the truth is, it was meant to be only nature collection.
Yeah.
But then when like the George Floyd thing happened, I was like, I'm not really making stuff that can relate to people as much. Yeah. And then that's what brought around the Malcolm X's and the Freedom T-shirts and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I love the philosophy. I mean, it's me, and it is like what I stand for. The brand stands for in general. So now it's just about articulating it better. And
where do you want to take this? How far do you want to take it? Like, where do you see this going?
It's a good question, man. I won't give anything quantitative. I just see it as more like I see it as an ideology that can spread. And it's something that's so obvious that a lot of people know anyway. Yeah. And the beauty for me would be finding the most amount of ways to express it. Yeah. So when you spoke about earlier about potential, it really resonated with me because I always felt like I never hit my potential. Even though I was getting a 2-1 in law and I was always able to get my GCSEs and pass and stuff, the one thing that people always told me, or teachers always told me, was you're not reaching your potential. Yeah. So my thing is just like I want to see the full potential of this philosophy. Yeah. And when I make jokes about we could be selling plates. Yeah. They always say like if Nike was to make a plate, you'd know what it looked like. Yeah. Because you understand their philosophy, just do it. Yeah. So I want to get to that stage where it's like not to say take Nike out of this, but more so like the powers element of it, and we can go into like any industry or touch anything, but you'd understand where we were coming from and it resonate with those type of people.
100%.
That makes sense.
No, mate, 100%. I feel like I think there's a lot of different avenues you could take the brand itself, not necessarily having to stick within clothing. Like there are so many, like Represent, for example. I'm not sure whether or not they did trainers before, but I would have looked twice at that. Yeah. I see them now and I'm thinking, yo, you know what I mean? Like, it's actually a vibe kind of thing, and it's like it's your own journey, and it's enlightening to know that you have got aspirations to take it as far as you can, and mate, just keep the hustle going. Legit, like wow. There's I was gonna say like with what you're doing right now, would you ever consider like opening up a store? Yeah,
that's in the woodworks.
Yeah,
yeah.
I think I don't know the brand's name. Is it Manière de
Devoir? Yeah, they just recently got.
They've got one on Bond Street. Yeah,
Bond Street. Yeah,
it's near where I work, and I was like, all right, okay.
Yeah. Is it open now?
I know. I think it's autumn.
Oh, okay, cool.
I could be butchering that, but
yeah, he's done really well, man. I respect him a lot because people always say, "Oh, he's a footballer, so he had money to pump in." It's just like there's a lot of footballers with brands. Yeah, they haven't reached the heights that he's reached in terms of what he's done. But yeah, I definitely open up a store because it's more about giving people the full experience of the brand. Like imagine having a period of time where we could celebrate Nipsey. You come into the store and you listen to his words of wisdom. Then you'd put on his music, you'd vibe. You get all the Nipsey Hussle ultra fans there. They haven't even got to buy pieces, but he's got to experience his thought process and what he's done for the culture.
What else you can do with that? You don't have to buy pieces, but are you buying a drink when you come in, or are you just sitting with other people and catching up? It's
a culture. It's just like, or if we did a dedication to an animal and we teamed up with a charity and we were able to raise funds and all them kind of things. It was like, so Rhino Collection was straight away dedicated. So it was collaboration with conservation. Yeah, so we donated some money in Kenya and South Africa to protect rhinos because that's what really that movement at the time.
It's mad that you're into animals because like I'm a major David Attenborough fan from day, bro. Blue Planet to Africa, everything.
Our Planet, come on,
bro. If anyone ever tries to at me,
even the new ones with the Barack Obama and what's the other guy now, Morgan Freeman.
Yeah, bro.
But yeah, bro. Like I feel like I'm just inspired by a lot of things as a true creator should be. So when I'm looking at the way the brand could go, there's so many collaborations and things we want to touch upon with the same philosophy, of course, discover your power. And more like avenues we can use to hit people, so they start to get it. Yeah, that's where it's at.
Would you ever like this is just something that I saw, I think Vanquish Fitness do recently, like where they had Dragon Ball Z, like a piece of collection where it's on their stuff kind of stuff. And I know you've got that with the artists and stuff, but like, would you ever consider, if the opportunity ever arose, to like collaborate with Nike or Adidas? If something like that ever arose, maybe not so much of a massive company, but even like down a scale to like, say, a UK based company or a football club or like something like that. Like, do you think that you could run with something like that, or is it still
the only way it'd run? I would be open to it 100%. The only way it would run though is if there is an underlying similarity with the philosophy. Powers, yeah. They haven't got expressed in the same way. Yeah. But like, I could sit here with you and talk to you for hours probably, because we underline have the same kind of philosophy that there is more we can do potential wise. And any brand that's like that, that's on that, that's 100% we can work with that. And Nike, to an extent, Just Do It has that.
I just watched Air recently, bro. Sick film.
Is it the one with the Michael Jordan, the new one?
Sick film.
I swear it just came out. When did you watch that?
I watched it on Sunday, bro. I was like, bro, I read Shoe Dog, and obviously I'm a big Jordan fan.
What a book, man.
Mate,
audio book I listened to like 3 times.
Different gravy. And I was like, I need to watch this.
Yeah, 100%.
And it's just a story about how they went about it, because he's not actually in the film.
No, he's not.
He didn't want to be in the film, or I don't think he was even told they were making it.
Was it good to watch it? Okay, don't ruin it for me though, but this is good to watch.
I liked it a lot because I'm a big fan of trainers.
We're not going to do. I hate anti-climaxes, so I don't want to go in there gas, because I'm excited to watch that. And I can't believe people watching it already. I forgot it's already out. That's me on Tuesday. 100%. What a movie! Shoe Dog was a banging book as well, man. Yeah, that book is.
It's well acted, but like, genuinely, I think why haven't you got yourself behind the camera on your page?
I knew this question was coming. This is such a good question,
bro. Everything you said today, right now, I'm thinking, if I heard this more regularly, it inspired me more, want to learn more about you and the brand in particular. If I was a random person, I think you're well articulated. The way you're expressing the story, it's like, it's not just coming out like that. Like, it's thought of. It's been like molded in a way where it's authentically you right now. How do, then again, I appreciate if that's not kind of like your cup of tea and you don't want to do that kind of stuff, but it's fucking lit.
That's a good question, man. I think about it every day. Which is probably not the answer you're probably thinking about. I'm thinking this guy probably doesn't want to be in front of camera because he's like, I've only got my hood up, by the way, because it's Ramadan and I haven't got a haircut. Not that I'm Muslim, but I just like to fast with people, with everyone. So I'm not antisocial. I'm really extrovert, like I said earlier. I could talk to anybody about anything. Why am I not in front of a camera? I feel like when I first started off, I wanted the brand to be more than just me. A lot of people start the brand, they're like, yo, they want to be the center of attention. And technically, I'm actually a very shy person, which sounds very counterintuitive. This guy says extrovert, the guy says he's shy.
Nah, I'm the same. I could be shy. You won't ever catch me speaking to a girl on a night out.
Oh, no?
Now, I'll dance, do my thing, and she wants to come up to me, sick, cool. But it comes up, bro, I can't speak.
See, now, in that department, I don't struggle. But let's say we have to talk to like a couple of people, 20 people, and I have to stand on stage. Public speaking, it's a big fear for me as well. Yeah. So I don't get shy. Like, let's say if I had to set a camera up, I wouldn't be shy speaking to the camera. Yeah. But I don't know, there's a part of me, I guess it's a part of me still discovering my power, because you said I'm articulate, so I can speak, whatever. I feel like I need to develop the level of, yo, this is my brand, this is me. And I feel like on the internet, I don't have that confidence.
Do you feel like there's an element of imposter syndrome?
Maybe, yeah. And I'll be real, I don't really understand the internet. Like,
that's fair.
I don't really, like, and the benefit of the brand and where I see stuff is, I'll probably learn. Like in a year's time, I'll probably laugh at this part I'm speaking about right now. Yeah. Because I'll be in front of camera and doing this more comfortably. And that's why coming here today is really important for me, because like it's my first time really speaking about the brand. Yeah. In this kind of format for so long. Yeah. But yeah, I couldn't give you a concrete answer as to why I don't want to put my face in front of my brand. And that's people tell me every single day that you should be the face.
It's not even the face. I think like the story of how it's built, more about you, and I think that possibly resonates more with people than you'll even notice. Like hearing that even now, I'm more inspired to like keep my eye out for the next drop. Yeah. And cop a piece or two, and not do it to just generally support a company, but how he's delivered that, it's very, very different. Like listening to Stephen Bartlett's podcast, I bought all of these crafted chains and stuff.
Oh, sick.
So this is a Wolf one. But I bought it purely based on listening to Crafted.
That's sick.
And like, it's because he kept talking about it. And the philosophy around that company, it's affordable jewelry. It's nothing fancy. You don't have to be all out there.
Yeah.
This won't stain. You can wear it in the shower and stuff like that. And I'm thinking, I like this.
Yeah, you hear about it.
And it's more like, I'm invested in that right now. It's.
I think I need to pay for your coaching, you know?
No. You're good, bro.
Because I swear in my life, I think about this every day. I'm like, I got a strong brand message.
Yeah.
I'll be real. Compared to a lot of brands, they just slap their logo onto a t-shirt and they want to charge you whatever. My thing is I got a strong message, but it also needs to be articulated in a particular way. It needs to be, in order to get my vision, what I said earlier, in terms of people, it's spreading like a virus. I need to be doing these kind of things. But there's a block in between me knowing that and doing it.
Yeah.
I know because I'm lazy. I could put in the work.
I don't know the work.
But there's a perception of maybe how I see the internet or how I don't know. So yeah, I'm gonna be calling you on Monday and be like, yo, I need your help.
Bro, it's not even that. I just think that you just gotta generally, again, go back to backing yourself, just letting it happen. Best case scenario, you get a shitload number of orders than you didn't anticipate.
I don't know the distribution. I don't understand if it's a YouTube play, is it an Instagram play, or what?
Find out. Discover your power, bro. See which way it goes.
Yeah, I'm playing around, moving around like I don't want to do it.
It. I thought the same thing. Like, it was generally audio for the podcast, and then I was like, I need to get some sort of video out there. And I'm like, I haven't got a camera. How the fuck do I get something? And I used to take my phone and tell the guest, look, I'm recording myself just for my own reels. Do you want to record yourself for content? Some of them said yes. Some of them said no. Sick. And then it was like, when I got this, how the fuck do I record both of us? Like, this looks good right now, but the old setting, it looks shit. Like, the lighting was awful. We didn't have the LEDs and that in there, so I was like, oh, okay, fine. And then eventually I said, fuck it, I'm going to do the other room, bigger room.
Yeah.
And like, when this comes out, you'll see episodes all before of how it all started with an iPhone first and with the camera.
Yeah.
And then with different types of cameras and edits and shit like that. And it's like, YouTube might be the platform now, but again, Instagram was popping up once upon a time.
Yeah,
I've got friends who have got millions of views on a reel, but it doesn't necessarily translate into the YouTube video.
Yeah,
but it's all about what's the purpose behind it. And I think for you, your kind of business and your philosophy, it's helping people discover their powers. People want to buy your materials, they need to hear a bit more about it. Like, I love the stories that come up, and I'm like, I'm engrossed in the product as it is. But I feel like if I was someone looking at it, I'm thinking, tell me more.
Yeah.
And I feel like you've said so much today, you won't realize how much this actually will like benefit others. Like the story to how to get AJ to represent your club. You didn't even know whether or not he was going to do it. But your mindset wasn't, oh shit, I'm shy. Like, what about, you said you're shy. Fuck that, man. My manager went up to him and said, yo, I'd love for you to work with you in some capacity.
Shy under certain circumstances, yeah.
No, I think you've got it. It's just a case of doing it.
Yeah.
Like you said.
No, that's one for me to take away and actually think about how to communicate more effectively.
Nah, I think you've got it. You've got it in abundance, mate. It's just giving it a go. A bit like how you started the brand.
Yeah. This is the irony of it all. When I started off the brand, a company where the brand was a YouTube channel, and I was actually showing people the progress.
Yeah.
I already had the wins from before, so I kind of knew if I jumped back in, I start to get lucky again.
Yeah.
So I started documenting. And I fell off that because I felt like I wasn't, putting enough work into the actual business, and I was spending more time on Premiere Pro editing the video. So I fell off YouTube completely. But yeah.
It's like with me right now. I can sit in here and interview everyone. All I can do after that is just stick the SD into the laptop, send it onto podcast platform, put it out, done deal. But now I want video in it. I've got to do edits. I've got to.
Oh, you did it yourself?
Yeah.
See,
and this is the easy part is having the conversation. The long part is fucking doing the edits,
bro.
And then if I want to coach as well and keep the business running, I have to put things aside. So I've got a backlog of episodes that still need to come out.
That's what I'm trying to say, man.
Then how do I make that a bit more faster if I want it to be faster?
That's what I'm saying.
Hire someone.
Exactly. That's the only solution.
Or I say to myself, bro, you're not doing anything next Sunday. You'll watch the game, and before the game, you're going to go somewhere. Come here, just edit here for like 5 hours straight. No excuses.
100%, man.
But it's not creating an excuse.
Yeah. No, you're right, completely. I think I'm going to reach out to some editors again.
Just see what happens. By all means, like it's an idea, but I generally think for like keeping it very simple and basic, if people heard a bit more from you personally, if I did, I'd be like, bro, this guy, he's just taken this brand from here to here, just how he's talked about discovering powers. And for someone, I'm not sure who the audience is for you, but if it's someone who's in this kind of motivational mindset, who wants to help discover their own kind of, you're going to sell a dream. You're going to not sell a dream, but you're going to sell like dreams out there.
Yeah. I feel like if anybody is going through whatever they're going through, they could be in the darkest place ever. It's just like, there's a possibility you could do something sick in this world.
I don't even know whether this is going to do well, this podcast. I might have to end it at the end of this year because it's like, but for the time being, it's doing bits. And I get people reach out saying, can I jump on?
Yeah.
Or people saying, can you talk about this particular topic? Dating is normally the big one because everyone's going through a shitstorm with that. But right now, I've had to have a couple of entrepreneurial conversations. Yeah. I'm inspired. I'm thinking, how the fuck can I translate what we've just spoken about today into my business?
Yeah.
How do I put in the same work ethic as you? How do I not think about shit, not be shy? Let's fucking run with the opportunity. Yeah. Just say, I offer this. Would you be up for it?
Another thing is as well, you know when you say you don't know if you, I know you're not thinking to close by the end of the year, but you're saying that it might be it's a possibility. Like that's anything.
That's life, you know.
Yeah. Obviously, you get the basics, you get the skill sets you develop. Yeah. You build up loads of skills doing it, so you get more fulfillment. Yeah. But also on the flip side, I feel there's a beauty in committing something for like 10 years.
Yeah.
I don't know who's saying it was, maybe it was Bill Gates or someone who was saying like people underestimate what they can do over the 10 years and they overestimate what they can do in like 1 year.
Yeah.
So it's like, I resolved when I came back into this that I'm going to do it for 10 years. Yeah. Because I already had a brand that reached a certain height and it flopped. And I saw crapper brands go skyrocket in comparison to mine. And I was like, they got that idea from us, the Velvet stuff. Yeah. They were crap when we were coming up. Even brands that represent that they weren't as big. We used to follow them or like watch their journey. They weren't nowhere near as big, and we see where they are now. They're massive. So I already had a taste of that could have been me, and that kind of hurt me. So the same with podcasting. Like I said to you earlier, like the industry is going to be some crazy place in 10 years' time, and I always say that people, if you can have that mentality that I'm going to do this for the next 10 years, try it, because you're going to get fulfillment from it. You're going to learn a bunch of skills anyway. And not to say you should carry on pushing at something that's failing, because sometimes there's beauty in stopping something that's not working. But that mindset already just changes the way you operate.
Mine is more motivating. So how do I still keep that needle moving? Whereas if the opportunity arose where I could go back to schools and just talk to kids, I'd take that in a heartbeat. Yeah. You know, if not necessarily educate, but after school, let's have a session where I speak to 40 kids right now and find out what's going on. How can I make sure school's a better day for you the next day? How do I get you to tell your parents that you don't want to do science because you have a passion for art and stuff like that? Like, that'd be sick. But again, it's whatever comes. And I know, like you said, 10-year goal, keep motivating, keep trying to help people be more fulfilled and just see what happens from it. Obviously, life takes different angles. You've got a family and kids. Sometimes you've got to think a bit differently. But how can I still have that level of motivation to help my family then change it that way? But I think, it all comes in time. Like Benjar is one brand I thought of.
Another one,
back in the day, I saw a couple of mates wearing caps and I was like, I look so cool. In Stormzy's video, Mel made me do it. All right.
Mad,
respect. Vibes.
You can never disregard what can happen over a decade. Yeah. And they're definitely a decade brand. Yeah. They're not some little 2-year journey. Oh, yeah. I remember going to the barbers and people trying to people were wearing it then when I was young. It's just carried on growing, and look at it now. It's a proper brand. Same with Trapstar's. Trapstar's only reaching its pinnacle now. Like, it's been building up for years. It's been a hype brand, but now it's reaching the levels where it's competing with like proper brand in terms of money and capital. So I just feel like it's sick. It's just like the game kind of just weeds out the people who are in it, because you can it's like the artist that comes out and makes a banger, one banger, and you can't make another song.
100%.
And the game just weeds out the people who can't be consistent. Yeah. And that's the game of it.
Short-term comfort, long-term pain. Short-term discomfort, keep running with it.
Keep running with it. Someone like Drake is always on top, consistently.
And always trying new things. Some of his albums are a bit questionable. But again, don't give a shit. If it bangs, it bangs. And if it doesn't, it's what I wanted to do. Let me just run.
Exactly. And you've been winning for so long. He's pretty bored of winning now, man.
Just does what he wants. But now collaborating with UK artists and stuff like that, like the mindset is just mad.
Yeah, man. The UK scene owes a lot to Drake, man. I say it all the time, bro. Like, even refunding Top Boy, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like, this guy has just done so much for the scene.
But bro, this has been an absolute pleasure, my guy, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, I am truly like moved by this conversation personally. So
honestly, myself too, man.
Big thank you for coming through. And how can anyone reach out to you if they want to like purchase some of the brands, find a bit more about, obviously not about you, clearly.
No. I appreciate you inviting me down. It's like one of my first times doing stuff like this, so I honestly appreciate you. And the setup's sick. But 8283 on all socials, 8283.co on all socials. Powers to the world, discover your powers. That's the best way to reach us. Got the dopest stuff in the game. Hit us up.
Definitely. Love, bro. Thanks again for listening. It's been your boy Uncle Pre. It's always a pleasure to be in the studio and record with my guests. I hope you have enjoyed this episode, and if you like stuff like this, please do like, comment and subscribe. It helps me take the podcast to a place where I can definitely bring in more people that are going to resonate with you, whether it's their stories, whether it's their journey, whether it's just something that they're going through right now. So definitely like, comment and subscribe if you haven't already. And yeah, much appreciated you staying in here. I love everyone that comes through, and I love all the comments and feedback that I get, so keep that coming through. And yeah, it's been your boy Uncle Pre, and I'm signing out. Peace.